Hi everyone, it's Sam from SiteMate. Requests for information, or RFIs, are an important process of any project for clarifying any details which are unclear and function as a record of any communication between the different parties involved. And so in this video, we're going to take a look at how you can streamline your RFI process using Dashpivot to track the status of each RFI, automate some notifications, and generate a register of all of the high quality records that you have for safekeeping. So here we are on the Dashpivot website. We're in the template section and we've already set up our request for information template. It's set up as a workflow, so you can see there's 3 columns, and the idea is that as we add new RFIs, initially they'll all appear in the very first column of our workflow. But then as they get reviewed and approved and signed off, they'll move from the first column to the second, and then from the second to the third, and so on. So let's run through an example together. Let's create a new RFI. We pull up the form and we need to fill it out. So maybe we're sending this to Mr. John Smith. The company is ABC Limited. Maybe it's our first RFI. And of course, we just need to fill out all the details. We won't cover all of them on this video, but we have the date it's needed by, the project, the RFI description, so we can leave some details there about what exactly it is that's unclear. And then there's sections for uploading drawings and things like that. And then we arrive at what we call an approval signature. And there's actually 2 of them on this template. There's one down the bottom here as well, but that's disabled. That's because the first approval signature needs to be signed off before the second one can be signed off. I just want to show you before we click sign that if we just save this form, you see that the RFI is sitting in the very first column where it says RFI created. Now, in order to move it from the first column to that second column and actually submit the RFI, we'll need to sign off that approval signature. And we'll do that in just a sec, but in this case, we actually want it to automatically notify someone when this form moves into this column. So that might be our client, or it might be an engineering firm or a consultant. So what we're going to do is we're going to click this button here. You notice that on each column there's a bell and an eyeball. And then if you click on the icon, you can actually select from the people who have access to this team in Dashpivot who we should nominate to receive an email notification automatically every time a form moves into this middle column. So let's just say, for example's sake, that we want Anne to receive an email. So click Anne. And you notice the eyeball turns blue. That's just indicating that there is some notification going to be sent out. And we know that it's going to go to Anne. So if we now revisit our RFI form, open it up, scroll down and click sign, it's actually going to do a few things. So as you might expect, clicking sign will stamp your signature on there with the time and date. And all of the fields above the signature are actually locked. So we can't amend any of this detail anymore without clicking this make changes button. But doing that will remove the signature. So just something to be aware of. And by signing off this first signature, it actually enables the next approval signature. So that one at the bottom, which used to be disabled, is now enabled. So we could click that if we want. But I just want to show you that behind the scenes, because we've signed it off, if we click save, the form will now have moved into the middle column. And you can see that there. And so if we open that up again and sign it off, it'll move to the RFI closed column. And as we know, because we nominated Anne to receive a notification when forms move into this middle column, now that there's one here, Anne will actually receive an email notification with a link. She can click on that link, open it up, review the information, add a response. And once she's done that, she'd be able to click the sign button and stamp her signature on there. And that would then lock off the section that she had filled out. We can then click save, and the form moves through to the final column. So that's how the workflow works. Over time, you'll probably end up with something that looks a little bit more like this, where you've got multiple RFI forms sitting in different columns. Something that's quite handy when you've got a large volume of forms is to review this information via the register view. So we click register, and you can actually see that we've got a row for every form. So there's 3 forms, and then we've got columns for each of the fields that are on those forms. And what's really handy about this is that we can filter by those columns to find specifically certain details. So if we wanted to search for RFI number 2, we could type that in, apply that filter, and then it only shows us RFI number 2. And then from here, if we needed to print that out, we could just select it and click download as PDF. We've got a couple of options in there. And you can also open these up and send them too. So if you open up the form, we have a send button up the top and a download button as well. Cool, so that wraps up this video. That's how you can run a RFI workflow inside of Dashpivot. We do have a free RFI template in our public template library. So if you go to the template section, click on add template, and then select the choose from public template library option. There'll be a free template in there called RFI, or request for information. Just search it up and add it into your account. You can amend it and make changes if you want. You can add more columns or add fewer columns if you need to. And if you get stuck with anything, we do have some additional help articles and videos in our tutorials section. And if you get stuck with anything, you can always send our team a message just via the live chat as well. So I hope this video has been useful, and thanks for watching.